1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. I think it's good. Okay, my name is Michael Langtuck II. For this speech, I'm going to talk about something that might be pretty close to home for a few of you guys, and it's going to be about bullying. Quickly, I'd like to throw a few facts at you. In 2014, the Center of Disease Control essentially did a study where they took a bunch of students from grades 4 through 12, and they basically monitored them for about a month. And in 49% of those cases in that given month, at least one instance of bullying occurred for those students. It's kind of a big deal, for especially just in a 1 month period, and some students and some people get bullied their entire lives. Now I would like to talk about bullying. Well, I could talk about bullying, how it doesn't stop in high school. I could talk about how our society is increasingly pessimistic, and today on social media, it's all about roasting. It's all about making fun of people basically for entertainment's sake. What I would like to talk to you today about is what you can do to stop it, or to stand up to it. A famous Irish statesman, Edmund Burke, famously wrote, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Now, I'd like to tell you two stories about my life. Both involved two completely separate scenarios with two people I didn't really know. The first involved a girl in 7th grade. I didn't know her very well at all. How I would describe her would be quiet, gothic, and seclusive. Any typical day consisted of her essentially walking by the lunch tables and the rest of the lunch table behind her back, whispering and gossiping about, how could she wear the clothes she was wearing? How could she be such a loser? She was so ugly. Really terrible things. Ashamedly, I too was involved in at least one or two comments throughout the given years. Essentially, I allowed evil to triumph. The secondary story involves a young boy, my freshman year in football, as we came from a bad practice where we ran a lot, we didn't do anything right, and the coaches was yelling at us. We proceeded to enter the locker room and go change into our school clothes. As this happened, I witnessed from a couple lockers down a individual that I didn't know getting bullied by 3 friends of mine. For about 2 minutes, he was repeatedly shoved against the locker, told how he sucked, how he should quit, how no one liked him. And I was already having a bad day, and for my friends to do this, it really bothered me. So in a semi-fit of rage and wanting to stand up for this individual, I walked over and I pushed all 3 of them to the ground and said something along the lines of like, "He doesn't deserve this, leave him alone." I then turned to the victim, I put my hand on his shoulder, and I said, "If you need any problems with these guys, just let me know, I'll take care of it." And that was the end of it. Never talked to the guy again, and that was it. To quote Colossus from the movie Deadpool, he says, "Over a lifetime, there are only 4 or 5 moments that really matter. Moments when you are offered a choice to make a sacrifice, conquer a foe, save a friend, or to spare an enemy." Now, I'm not asking you to be perfect. What I am asking is for 4 or 5 moments in your life to stand up for something you believe in, or to stand up for someone else. It could be a friend, or it could be an enemy. It doesn't matter. Before I end, I would like to talk to you about the consequences of my actions. Years later, the girl continued to be bullied mercilessly, and eventually she took her own life. I'm not saying I could have stopped it. What I am saying is that I allowed it to happen, and I did nothing. After I graduated high school, as I attended a new pizza place with my family, this young boy who I played football with happened to be there. I didn't know who he was, but he walked up to me and he said, shaking my hand, "I know you don't know who I am, but I want to thank you for saving my life." Dumbfounded, I wanted to know who this was and what the heck he was talking about. He told me that day he had a plan to go home and kill himself. He continued to say, had I not shown him that one person cared about him, he would have gone through with his plan. In closing, I would like you to stand up and not allow evil to triumph, because it only takes 4 or 5 moments to change a victim's life. Thank you.